Being a teen these days isn't easy. So many questions to be answered, and so many voices telling them what's cool, what to think, how to act. Friends, family, school, music, cheating, drugs, sex, religion. It's an awful lot to process. Where can they turn for help when dealing with these real issues? And where can you turn for resources that address these topics from a biblical perspective? Life on the Edge is a ministry from Focus on the Family, specifically designed to give biblical practical support to today's youth. Out of this ministry comes a captivating series of honest videos that deliver eye-opening insights in a language teens understand and in a manner they remember. Life on the Edge videos are about real kids talking about real issues and the results that go along with the choices they make. They're great for sparking deeper discussions between parents, youth leaders, and teens. And best of all, these videos show teens how their faith in Christ helps them evaluate their choices and find the courage and conviction to stand behind the right ones.
Mom and Dad, they think it never happened to their kids, not in this neighborhood.
I lost 2 aunts and a cousin to heroin.
Now, I know a lot of you are sitting there saying, I don't want to hear this, not another drug talk. Was the guy drunk when he did this to you? The Bible says in the book of Proverbs, train up a child in the way he is to go, so that when he's old, he will not depart from it. Everybody wants to change the world. Nobody wants to change themselves. Only a personal relationship with Jesus Christ can do that.
It's pretty scary to think that one bad decision could change our lives forever.
I wished I had told one adult about the pressure I was under.
When I got pregnant for the second time, I didn't tell anybody for 5 months because I didn't feel like there was anybody in my life that I could talk to about that.
One of the things that I actually share in concert with people is that, hey, if they have made the mistake of having sex before marriage, they can become a recycled virgin and be forgiven and just stand for God from now on.
Just because my friends are doing it doesn't mean I have to do it. I'm a leader, not a follower.
Look for the entire line of Life on the Edge videos at your local Christian bookstore, or order direct by calling 1-800-A-FAMILY or visiting our website at www.family.org. Life on the Edge. Real issues, real life.
Hi, I'm Jim Dobson, and we're going to talk for the next few minutes about truth. What does it really mean, and how can you go about finding it? You know, those are very difficult questions to answer because you can hear many varying opinions about truth today.
Truth is, I don't know what truth is, to tell you the truth.
What is God? I don't know. I can't say which religion is right.
What a person wants to believe, they'll believe, and then they will say for themselves what's right or wrong.
I make my own destiny. You know, I don't have to worry about whether there's a God or not.
What you think is right, what you think is wrong is going to differ from person to person.
I don't think there's such a thing as absolute truth.
Well, if someone does judge me on my religion, then I just think, they're ignorant.
Tolerance is very good, but it may lead to bad things.
All the religions, they believe in different, so I don't know which one is wrong, which one is right.
Truth is decided by the Bible and what they said.
My conscience probably decides what's right or wrong for me.
Religion is something man made up to make himself feel better about himself.
I think there's an absolute truth for people, but they differ with every single person.
I go along with what I think is true. Like, it might not be true, but I'm too lazy to really think about that.
That last young man still has some work to be done if he's going to get a fix on meaning of truth. But how will he and the others go doing that? One pop approach, of course, is to decide what's right and wrong on the basis of consequences. If someone gets hurt in the process, it's wrong. And if not, then it must be okay. But is the most reliable standard to follow? Let's drop in on a locker room conversation and then hear a discussion about that question. Who does it?
Really? Sorry, fault.
Dude, was the worst math test I have ever taken.
Yeah.
It's so funny. How'd you do?
Let's just say did as well as Madison did.
Madison? What's supposed to mean?
You know what it means, man.
What does it mean?
All right, Madison's the smartest kid in class.
Right.
She sits right next to me, so it was easy to make sure that I got the same answers as she did. So like I said, I did as well as she did.
I suppose you're okay with this, right?
So what's your deal, man?
Nothing.
And who does it hurt?
Who does it hurt? Who does it hurt?
Who's ever gonna find out he cheated anyway?
It's morally wrong.
The funny is that he will always know that he cheated.
I think you lose a lot of respect from who does find out, and also you're hurting yourself.
Even though if the teacher or nobody didn't find out, it's like, say for instance, if I was in that position, it's like, you know, I mean, my conscience, I'll be convicted so much, you know what I'm saying, because it's like, I know that God saw me, you know, that'll stir me up a little bit.
Well, I think you've asked yourself, is it okay to make decisions based upon whether or not someone's getting hurt?
I wouldn't personally say it's okay, but different people have different morals about that kind of thing.
I don't think that people, when they go to make a decision, they say to themselves, well, is this going to hurt somebody else?
Yeah.
Is this a benefit for me?
That comes down to integrity, like what you do when no one else is around you.
No, it's not okay to base a decision on whether someone gets hurt or not, because one can never tell whether someone will get hurt in the long run. Also, there's a lot more to morality than whether people get hurt.
Ultimately, what do I base my decisions on? Ultimately, there has to be a standard of truth.
People should make their own decisions based on truth, not based on what they believe. What you believe just doesn't matter. You know, that sounds so harsh. You know, people go, oh no, what do you mean what I believe doesn't matter? It doesn't matter what you believe. What matters is truth.
I have to be very careful to go beyond whether or not someone will get hurt, because I am so easily fooled myself as to whether or not someone else will get hurt. I am so selfish myself. If I just use myself as a barometer, I'm in trouble.
I decide whether it's right or wrong based on my instinct and what I think will be the consequences of my actions.
The test thing, I probably wouldn't cheat, but like if I was in a 7-Eleven and somebody gave me more change than I was supposed to, I'd walk out with that. I mean, just being real, I don't see who that hurt. I mean, that's her.
You know what?
Fault that she gave me the extra change. I mean, I'm gonna use that.
I remember one situation that I was in that somebody gave me some change back. I gave it back to him. And then when I gave him back to him, they was like, oh man, you're nice. See, that revealed my character to them.
Why do I care what other people think about me? Are they judging me? Are they my judge? To me, they're not. I'm judged.
You can't always think about other people. You have to think about yourself more, I think. I don't think that you can treat anybody better than you treat yourself.
The problem with deciding what's right and wrong on instinct is, instinctively, I'm full of anger. Instinctively, I could be full of rage. Instinctively, I could be full of selfishness. Instinctively, I can be cruel.
So what's right or wrong on instinct? Instinct of what? Where did you get these instincts? How do you know your instincts are right?
You know, I've heard that a lot. I'm my own judge. The fact of the matter, though, as a Christian, would lovingly, graciously, but truthfully say, no, God has revealed who He is through the Bible, through nature, through conscience, through His Jesus Christ, and He says, I am the judge.
When a person says, I decide what's right or wrong, they're failing to realize that reality is disgustingly indifferent to what we decide.
When somebody says, I will decide what is true, what are you really saying? I am my own God.
If it were as easy as just deciding what's true and false, right and wrong, and I decide right now I have $1 million in my life. What a country. I right now decide that I am the best football player in the United States of America. Boy, that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, reality could care less about my decisions because things are the way they are, regardless of what I decide.
Well, if consequences are not really a reliable standard of determining truth, how about the idea that everything is okay? That's sometimes referred to as tolerance. That's accepting every view as equally valid. And that poses another problem. Let's hear a few ideas about what tolerance is or isn't, and then we'll address the question, whose truth?
Tolerance, I feel, is just being understanding of other people's viewpoints, kind of like empathy.
Tolerance is to be patient with somebody.
I believe tolerance means acceptance.
I think tolerance means being able to have your own beliefs and hold them strong to your heart, and yet being able to bend and understanding of other people's beliefs and cultures.
Look at this, Katie. Can you believe that Dr. Death Guy actually got put in jail?
Yeah. He deserves it. He's a creep. He totally creeps me out.
A creep? What? All he does is hope people want to die. I mean, they want him to end their pain, and he does.
Well, I wouldn't call killing someone exactly doing them a favor, would you?
It's not like he's murdering them or something.
I think it is murder. Who's this guy to go around playing God?
I think what he does is cool. He helps people, and who's to say that he's wrong?
Susie.
So which girl do you agree with?
I agreed with Susie. I think that if somebody's in a lot of pain, they should be able to die. If they're just in pain and suffering, when your dog or your cat is in pain and suffering, you put them to sleep to put them out of their misery.
I disagree with Susie because God has a plan for my life, and if I'm suffering in pain, and God's going to give me the strength to continue with what I'm doing, and He's going to help me through my struggles. And God, it's not God's plan to have someone take your life.
I think it's right to try and convince others of what's right.
Yeah, it's okay to try, but don't push it on them too much.
If I judge somebody's view as being wrong, I think I'm being tolerant of it. I just don't accept it.
Yeah,
I agree totally.
I think that if you're judging someone's way of being wrong, that you are intolerant of it.
What?
I don't think we should tolerate some things, people not accepting the truth. I think we should not just tolerate that and let them go.
I think you should definitely tolerate anything that anybody wants to believe.
Tolerance is not a virtue. Tolerance is not a good thing.
It's interesting, this word tolerance and what it's come to mean in American society today. And I think that we're operating under a very, very wrong and misguided definition of tolerance.
Tolerance means not that I think you're right. It means I'm going to continue to respect you as a person. I'm going to be mean to you, even though I think you're wrong of something that really matters.
Tolerance is this non-combative, get in an argument, don't have a confrontation, defend anybody.
Now, I can tolerate your beliefs without accepting them, with agreeing with them, and because I love you, I can even challenge them.
I tolerate people because I care about them and I love them. But because I care about them, I don't tolerate all of their actions.
It is not intolerant to judge somebody else's view as being wrong. In fact, the only way you can be tolerant of someone else is if you've already judged their view is wrong. If you don't think somebody's view is wrong, what is there to tolerate?
Ultimately, someone's got to make decisions. Someone's got to set the rules. Who decides these rules? Who make the rules for us of what we can and can't do?
I say that the Word of God, that's what sets the rules. That settles everything.
A society where each individual person decides what's right or wrong for themselves is out of control. It's just totally nuts. They can go to work, they can not go to work. Go to school, they cannot go to school. They can believe that 2 + 2 is 5 or 8 or 16. They can go at red lights and stop at green lights. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
In the Old Testament, they talked about Noah. And every man did what was right in his own eyes. And what did God do? He flooded the place out. Because what happens when you do what you say is do, chaos, one thing, sets in. Secondly, selfishness sets in.
Saying that you can believe something and I can believe something different, and we're both right, that's called relative. You know, it's the idea that everything goes. We can all believe different things and we can be right.
Now, how's a relativist going to respond to Adolf Hitler? Adolf Hitler said, I decide it's true for me that Jews aren't persons and they should be elated. What's a relativist going to say? Because after all, that was true for him. We know, though, don't we, that even though Hitler decided that it was true for him that killing Jews was okay, what he did was wrong and it wasn't true.
There are individuals who believe that this thing called truth is a very limiting and a very binding thing. They resent what they believe to be limitation on their freedoms. The reality is that truth sets us free. Truth gives us a world with order. It gives us a world where things make sense.
Interesting view. Let me go to one of the comments that we heard just a few minutes ago when one girl said, and I quote, I think we should definitely tolerate anything anyone wants to believe. Really? Will that stand up to scrutiny? What about those in positions of power who oppress and kill the innocent? Are there things that should not be tolerated? And what about many religions in the world today? Is it accurate to say about one of them, if it works for you, then it's truth? Are all religions relative?
Personally, I think there's only one true religion, but I think the morals of every religion is basically the same.
I mean, if you believe in a religion, then do it, whatever. I don't know for a fact that exists. It's just a belief that I have. That I believe that I don't know for a fact that he does not.
Definitely there's more than one right religion. Like, it's probably a combination of all of them.
Which religion is right? There's no right religion. You know, it just makes things easier in place just to believe in God. Even if there's not one, it makes being here a little nicer.
I don't believe it's right to other people's religions as being right or wrong. Because I base my religion on faith. Who says that their faith is any worse or stronger than mine?
Megan, hold up!
Hey, we'll meet you in the car. Hurry up, okay.
Check it out.
I know. Is this another one Christian thing?
Not what you think. This is a chance to get together, talk.
Yeah, talk to a bunch of brainwashed and you're not judging everybody.
Well, you should know because you are a geek, so that make you fit right in, huh? You should come.
I am serious, Brad. I mean, okay, I've watched my brother go to different kinds of religious groups, and each time he totally believes what he hears, and he finds something new and better, and he's just always chasing something that's not really there.
Megan, you're not your brother.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, but I mean, honestly, who's to say which religion is right? Hey, if Christianity works for you, that's great, but it's not for me. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.
All right, I'll see you later.
Bye.
I think that guy pushes his religion much.
I know people who like that, though.
Well, if your religion, your relationship, whatever, if it works for you, I mean, is that okay?
Yeah, I mean,
does it make it right?
Different people have different beliefs and they follow what they feel is right for them.
I think whatever you believe in can work. I think anything that your mind to, that you believe in, can work for you.
If it works for you, then it works too. I think she's right. What works for me right now is not having a relationship with God and finding out who I am. That works for me right now.
It's really popular to say if it works for you. It is popular. You know what? Because so many students have been fed the lie that there is no such thing as truth. There are only opinions.
I don't think a religion can work somebody if it's not true. I think you can kid yourself and be in denial, but I don't think it works for you.
The problem with the phrase, works for you, it's fine for you, is that it's not clear what it is for something to work for somebody.
How come there are so many different religions out there?
Because there's many truths.
Many truths?
I mean, I don't
so
believe.
Many truths.
I don't believe that there's one truth. I just don't believe that there's just one thing. There's so many different people and there's so many different ways you can look at things. I don't see how there could just be just one truth.
So why choose Christianity? Why choose any of it? If they're all right, are they all right? Is that what you think?
They're all right for, if it's you, it'd be right for that person. It's right to that person. Who am I to say that it's wrong? Who am I to say what's right and what's wrong? I'm just a person just like them.
So make any decisions if you don't decide what's right and wrong.
It's right to me.
So if it's right to me, go in your house and steal all your stuff, then it's okay, right?
I didn't say it's okay, I just said it's right. I'm just saying that it's right because...
So if it's right to me, so it's fine. It should be fine with you because you just said it's right for every person. So if I come in your house and take your
religion is
stuff,
right to them.
fine.
That's their truth.
But sometimes when I'm talking to audiences about this matter of absolute truth, I ask them to close their eyes and point in the direction of north, and then hold the position and open their eyes. Everybody's because they're pointing all over the building. Nobody's got it right. Then I take a compass out of my pocket and show them which direction north truly is. See, it doesn't matter what you believe about north. It only matters what it is.
The reason there's so many religions is that people want to distort morality and important things in life according to their own self-interests. Now, the question then remains, is there any religion that has evidence that is actually supernatural and just a human invention?
It is true that people are searching for meaning. And I believe that's one of the reasons why there are so many religions. But if they are searching for truth, they will find it. Because God said, when you search for me with all of your heart, you will find me. And God is truth, the source of all truth.
It's another thing for a religion to actually provide evidence that it came from the other side, that it came from God, and it wasn't just a bottom-up approach, humans creating God. Instead, it was a top-down approach, where God actually revealed himself. Christianity provides evidence that it's actually true. What is that evidence? It's the historical evidence that Christ actually rose from the dead and performed miracles.
Jesus can go. Well, tell you what, multiple choice here. You want this religion, that religion, the other religion, or you want me, as long as you're sincere. Listen, you can be sincere and sincerely wrong.
There's only one group of people that wins in the end. There's only one group of people that makes it. It's the ones that believe in Jesus Christ.
All right, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're beginning to hone in on what truth is, and for that matter, why it's important in the first place. Let's listen.
Why should I care? Because there's a lot of hurt in this world. Because I want to make a difference. Because I don't want to see my friends grow up and hurt themselves.
There is this thing called truth out there that can give me some guidelines and guideposts as to how to live my life. It could have a profound impact if I knew what it was.
There's so much suffering going on in the world. The suicide is at an all-time high. It's the #2 killer of all kids in America. It doesn't seem to make sense. And that's why absolute truth is important. That's why it is, because it creates a foundation for you to stand on. It says to you, now you're going in the right direction.
It's simply a philosophic little thing about should I believe in truth or shouldn't I believe in truth. It is far more than that. Life and eternity hinges on what we believe is truth.
If you know in your heart what you believe is true, the confidence that comes from that's awesome. You're on the right path. Then you don't have to be tolerant. You don't have to shy away from discussions. You don't have to shy away from your friends. When your friends are in trouble, you can help them out because you know what you believe is true.
Students say, why should I care about the truth? Because the truth will set them free. Because the truth will give them direction. Direction in this life and direction for eternity.
85% of Christian kids believe there's no external standard. Great, 85% of Christian kids are wrong.
Nobody said it would be easy to find the truth.
There is an external standard. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. That's the funny thing. It doesn't matter that you believe it or don't believe it. The standard still exists.
Now we have to decide, is it worth the trouble? We have to decide how important truth really is.
We as Christians have to believe in absolute truth for our faith to work. Christianity doesn't work unless we believe in absolute truth. Either we believe God is true, that He did write the Bible, that the Bible is true, all of it, or we don't that.
I think there's never a more important time to take the time to think through these issues than as a young person.
People say to me, "You mean I can't be happy unless I find truth?" And I would say this: you certainly cannot have the peace and the joy and the meaning God wants to give you. Whatever peace you find and hope you find will be short-lived.
We need to find truth so we don't go to hell. Is the biggest one. I mean, don't go to hell.
As striking as that last comment is by Ryan, he's absolutely correct. You know, what's at stake in this determination of truth is not simply our well-being in this life, but throughout eternity. And you know, many of us go through our entire lives without considering the issues that we've talked about today. But what we believe is critically important because it determines how we behave and how we live our lives. Now, what pleases me about the segment you're about to see, that the group is beginning to get a better understanding of this concept just by being asked to think about it for a few minutes. Let's listen.
I believe that we're all on a journey, a spiritual journey, and I believe that we all need to respect where everybody is at their point. I feel that I'm at the beginning of my spiritual journey. I've just packed my bags and started on it.
One thing that this has encouraged me to do is to really share my faith more, and to know that there's people out there that's dying and on their way to hell, and for me to go and do all that I can to reach them and to tell them about the truth.
You guys have a lot of strong beliefs, and I totally want to thank you for your guys' opinions, because it did mean a lot to me, and it made me cry, you know. And I think that you guys are right in a way, that there is a God and that Jesus died for us and everything, but I don't think that I am to live my life like that.
I've basically realized that the evil that we live in has such influence on people like Christians and to do wrong, and the temptations that are in this world, and it's just really revealed itself to me.
I'm taking a stand on Christianity, and I'm taking a stand on God, and I believe in Him and His, and I know what's right.
I guess for me, I can only say one thing to wrap up my feelings and my everything, and that's that God is the only way. And when we're talking about, your truth, my truth, and whose truth, I think it's His truth. Right. That's the only way to go.
Not only did God give us truth, He gave us His Son Jesus, which is the communication of truth to us. You know, we read about this in the Bible, and His actions and the way He related to people shows us the true path. It shows the right path to be on.
God's truth and Jesus is for everybody. For God so loved the world, covers everybody, that whosoever believes in Him, that covers whoever wants to. Sure, it's narrow. The truth is always narrow, but the gift is for anyone who will receive it, to give eternal life.
If there's any evidence that the founder of Christianity, Jesus Christ Himself, rose from the dead, then that's a good reason to look into Christianity. That's a good reason to investigate the truth claims of Jesus Christ.
Good news is that Christianity assures us that God really did open Himself up and reveal something about Him to us in Jesus.
We're talking about God in a bod who became man, that I am God. You decide what you do. Was He popular? No. In the end, they crucified Him. Was He right? Yes. 3 days later, He rose again, and He rocked the world. And I'm going to stick with Him and that truth, because it is the truth that sets me free and gives me eternal life, my faith and belief in Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ said, "You believe in God? Believe also in me." And then He said, "I'm the way, truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me."
He leaves us with a decision to make. In the end, every Christian has to ask the question, who am I here to please? Am I here to please God or man? Am I going to be a God pleaser or a man pleaser?
Well, we've come down to our final moments together. Let me see if I can put a ribbon on this about truth. We've heard varying opinions in those few minutes, many of them representing what's called moral relativism. That's the belief that truth is whatever anyone says it is, that there is nothing absolute concrete, nothing that you can wrong, nothing that transcends time and circumstances. According to that view, each of us kind of construction of reality from our own experience. Now, if that's an accurate representation of truth, then nothing is right or wrong. Slavery and genocide are no worse than freedom and justice. There's nothing that's moral, and one opinion is just about as good as another. That's what most people believe today, and they are tragically wrong. Truth is not something that a person cobbles of broken pieces. It's something that exists from us because it emanates from the great character of the God. He's the determiner of right and wrong, but confusion and despair for us all. Why is that? Because meaning in life is linked directly to this understanding of truth. In order to have meaning, every one of us has to answer the major questions that confront us. Who am I? And why do I exist? And who made me? And what am I expected to do with my life? And who's keeping score? And will I be accountable someday for my behavior? And is there life after death? Whether you're an atheist, a Jew, a Buddhist, a Muslim, or a Christian, those questions are standing there before us. We have to deal with them. But there are no answers apart from absolute truth that comes from the God of the universe. Jesus Christ said, "The truth shall set you free." And then he explained why. He said, "I came that you might have life and might have it more abundantly." And that's the source of all meaning in life. Hope you've been stimulated by this discussion of truth. If you're still not sure what to believe, find a Christian pastor or counselor and talk to him or her about it. Some very good answers for the perplexing questions about life, and you can find them with a little effort. Thanks for watching.